Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome to episode 84 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from OKR Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at the 2022 home shirt. Now, we've seen the 2022 home shirt a few times across various episodes of Talking Shirts. It's, as you can see, if you're looking at the rail down there, it's one that I've actually got quite a few of in my collection. Obviously got Will Daggers behind me as well, so we're going to focus a little bit on the shirt, but I more want to talk about the player and a little bit about the story behind this shirt and how it came about. So the 2022 home shirt, naturally all red. We've got that lower band on there. Obviously, we're used to seeing it on the breast. It was low. It was something that a lot of fans didn't really take to. I didn't hate it, and I feel like as the season went on, it certainly most definitely growed on me, especially when you think of some of the performances that we witnessed whilst the club was wearing this shirt. Everything on the front of the shirt is dye sublimated in. Obviously, we've got all the various different sponsorship and branding going on there. And we've also got these gel grip patches going across the front as well, which obviously helps us signify that this is the match worn variation of this shirt. This sleeve here, sponsorship space was kept free. So we've got the RSV branding on here. We have got the blue band going across the bottom there. And as I've said, this space here was kept free for various different sponsorship opportunities. Nothing was actually signed off, and that space wasn't used on any of the shirts across the entirety of the 2022 season. But you will notice that in 2023, the University of Hull have taken up that sponsorship on the left sleeve there. As we swing it around to the right one, you'll see that this one has got a competition patch for the Betfred Super League. This is in absolutely mint condition. It's got no damage on it, no sign of wear or anything like that. And the reason for that is because this shirt wasn't actually ever worn. It was not worn at all. And the reason why it was not worn at all is because this shirt was issued to Lewis Senior. Now, Lewis Senior had committed to Hull KR for the 2023 season, but we got him a little bit early. There was a loan agreement that came in during the 2022 season, which did see Lewis join the club on a loan until the end of the season. But it didn't exactly work out as we had hoped. I will tell you a little bit more about that in a second, but before I do, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to episode 84 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was just talking a little bit about Lewis Senior and how he ended up at Hull KR during that 2022 season. So Lewis, he joined us on loan, as I said, and he actually was only at the club for a couple of weeks. He made it into one matchday squad, but he didn't actually play or feature for the Robins during the 2022 season. Now, the reason for this was because Lewis was deemed surplus to requirements at the Huddersfield Giants based on the fact that he had committed to the Robins for the 2023 season and he was being kept out of the team by Jermaine McGilvery and his brother Innes. Now, what happened after then was that Jermaine picked up an injury, and that then opened up the opportunity for Lewis to slot back into his starting position at the Huddersfield Giants. Because the agreement was a short-term loan deal, that meant that it could be cancelled, and the cancellation then meant that Lewis would return to the Huddersfield Giants. Now, because Lewis made his appearance in a matchday squad, granted he never pulled on the jersey, the shirt was put together and made up for him. So as you can see here, the shirt has been printed with Senior and 35, which would have been Senior's squad number for that 2022 season. Now, these things are quite interesting because if you don't pay a massive amount of attention to a 21-man squad, then you might not actually know what squad number a player like Lewis would actually be, especially if somebody joins partway through the season. Now, squad numbers is something that I'm really passionate about. I love the fact that each player has their own unique squad number. On hullkrshirts.co.uk, you will see a wonderful array of shirt squad number listings, all the way from 2007, which was the first time that the club had unique squad numbers for players, all the way through to 2023. I've gone through, and if anybody joined later in the season, or even if they just made one game, maybe made the debut coming out of the academy, I've got a list of all of the squad numbers. So for you to be able to have a little look at that there. So then, this is information that might not come out. Luckily, I'm able to find that, source that, and store that information going forward. But yeah, we wouldn't have quite known that Lewis would have been number 35 during the 2022 season. We had Sam Royal, who joined a little bit later, and he was given the number 36 shirt. So we did get quite high into the 30s during that 2022 season. Senior has obviously been promoted in terms of squad number during the 2023 season. He's now got squad number 23, which was previously Ethan Ryan's, who moved into the number 2 shirt. So Senior has made 4 appearances for the Robins so far during the 2023 season, and he scored 2 tries in those 4 appearances. Somebody who I think really does need a crack on that wing spot. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this guy can do in the red and white of the Robins, because I feel like he's something that we are quite missing. He's got a big build. He's a good sized lad for a winger, and I'd really like to see him get a real good crack at a run of consistent appearances within the team. I think he's somebody that hopefully will have a very, very bright future in East Hull. Okay, so that's everything for this episode of Talking Shirts. I've really tried to focus a little bit more on the player than the shirt, because we've seen the shirt on a few occasions in the past. So I hope you've not minded me waffling on a little bit about Lewis Senior. Like I say, hopefully you'll be able to get a run of appearances before the end of the year, and we'll really see what this guy can do during his time with the Robins. So we had the joys of watching him during the World Cup when he felt like our player, but he wasn't fully our player at that point. Obviously, we scored 2 tries against New Zealand, so this guy has got something about him. So fingers crossed, we'll see a little bit more of that in the near future. Thank you very much for watching. Check back in another couple of weeks, and I'll be back with a brand new episode of Talking Shirts. Bye for now.